Well, hello out there to whoever finds this stream down the road. Hope you're having a good day, night, morning, whatever it is you're having out there. Hopefully, it's a good one. Uh, so I'm just doing a live stream with, as usual, not much preparation. I'm hoping that I've got some of the technical problems worked out. I'm about halfway through doing the sort of rewiring and relocation of things. So I don't know how this is going to go. And since I'm talking to myself right now, there's nobody to tell me whether they can see anything or not. Um, but when someone shows up, I'll have to ask them, see or hear, because I never do know. Anyhow, gonna do a couple of things just to play around. Although, since I am just talking to myself, maybe I should get the news that has irritated me today out of the way. No. I'll stick to the what little plan I had, and we'll see if vidIQ has some topics that are worth talking about, and maybe someone can show up and they can tell me whether they want to talk about something different or not. Oh, hey Dave. Nope, no new haircut, but yeah, not wearing one of the 6 shirts. And hey, Donald, welcome to both of you guys. So I guess the question is, should I look at the news articles that I was thinking about? Well, here I'll put up. Well, one is a tragedy. A chocolate factory blew up. I don't know of the details, but I'm pretty sure it must be a terrorist attack because there's nothing more demoralizing than a chocolate factory blowing up. And but let's see. Let's close that out. Was going to look at the daily ideas from vidIQ, see if there's something there as an Insta topic, just for the fun of it. Just again, see whether the advertising is true. They are perfect topics for my channel. Let's see if I close this. Will that blow anything up? Nope, I don't think it did. And no new haircut. Just not wearing a hat, and I think I may have combed it today, but you never can tell. Oh, let's see. I need to do. Oh, let me know if the picture is coming through okay. Well, clearly, if you think I got a new haircut, the picture is coming through okay. Let me know if the sound is working. If it is, then maybe I've done enough rearranging of modems and cables and whatever they'll, have a little piece of hardware I'm going to be plugging in when I get around to it, which will hopefully clear up all of the problems, except for the fact that I'm using Comcast. I guess that's a problem that there's no getting around. The only service provider where I live. Let's see. There we go. All right, so topics today for vidIQ. Steve Miller interviews the creators of a new role-playing game set in the Marvel Universe. Well, I actually could do that. I kind of sort of know one of the designers on that game. I don't know if he would talk to me, since I kind of I was handed a half-finished manuscript by him that he had done many years ago, and I had to finish it. So I don't know whether he's pleased with the outcome, because his was the only name that appeared on it, which is always awkward when that happens. Steve Miller debates the pros and cons of role-playing games with his viewers. We could debate the pros and cons of role-playing games if anyone is interested in that. So I'm going to save that one for a future date. And my new role-playing game, that was the one I designed in 5 minutes a couple of weeks ago. Still don't have the combat system completely where, or task resolution system to the point where I like it. So not quite ready to talk about my new role-playing game yet. So those are good topics, but not for right now. Uh, Censored. Meet Leah Remini, an unhinged religious bigot who profits by spreading hate. I have no idea who that person is. Uh, Colin Kaepernick calls out his white adoptive parents. I have things to say about that, but I probably should not say them. Ron DeSatan, future president of Dumbfuckistan, banning Black history from schools. Okay, this one is kind of nonsensical. That one is a landmine. Don't know who Leah Remy is. Anyone know who Leah Remini is? Because I don't. But I will find out. She's an American actress whose face I don't recognize. I have no idea who this person is. Well, let's see what she's been in. Well, she was born June 15, 1970 in Brooklyn, New York. Has an older sister and 4 half-sisters. She starred as Carrie Heffernan on the long-running CBS comedy series The King of Queens, and later co-hosted The Talk. Since 2016, she has created, hosted, and been the executive producer of an award-winning documentary series, Leah Remini, Scientology and the Aftermath. Oh yeah, that must be it. Yeah, Jesse, you're probably right. Since her documentary series is Scientology and the Aftermath, and yeah, I guess anyone that leaves Scientology and then talks about it is a bigot spreading hate. At least according to Scientology, at least. Oh, there I go. Stepping in a landmine again. Stepping on a landmine again. Blah blah blah. Her production company is called No Seriously Productions. Um, yeah, I have no idea. I don't think I've seen a single thing she's been in. Let me see. Toddlers and Tiaras. Where are they now? Nope. Have not seen a single thing. All right. Well, so that topic is another dud. Although, so yeah, we're gonna say no to that one. All right. Well, that was what vidIQ had to offer today. I don't know if any of these topics interest the folks out there, but this one irritated the hell out of me when I saw it. Haven't actually looked up the article yet, but I'm pretty sure I can guess what it is. This teaser, Telegraph, it's the Telegraph, a British online paper, or maybe in a paper. Agatha Christie classics, latest to be rewritten for modern sensitivities. Poirot and Miss Marple mysteries have original passages reworked or removed in new editions published by HarperCollins. First time I heard about the concept of sensitivity readers is when I was on staff at Wizards of the Coast back in 1997. I thought it was an obnoxious idea then. Uh, the project I was working on, I pretty much said I don't want I don't want a sensitivity reader to go over my work and to make sure that it doesn't offend, because everything I was doing, I was writing a book that was called Van Richten's Guide to Witches, and they wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to offend the pagans and the witches. And I said, look, I'm not using any reality here. In fact, I'm very purposefully going as far away from anything real as I can. I know the topics, I know how to not use them, and that's what I'm doing. Um, I think they still gave the manuscript uh, to the resident pagan, and she reviewed it and apparently had no issues with it. Or if she had, no one told me, and I never really read the book after I gave it to the editor, so I have no idea. Interested in? Oh yeah, well they were starting to brew this crap back in the late '90s, and now it's standard apparently. Yeah, this is one of my trigger topics. But a Toledo trifold PSA. That sounds mildly disturbing. Uh, yeah, we can look at that if people are interested in that. Uh, Funny thing is, with all of this nonsense going on with big publishers, um, I put it on the description of this particular feed, but about a decade ago at this point, um, I put together a bunch of anthologies of Robert E. Howard stories, his non-Conan stuff, non Solomon Kane. Frankly, some of his better works, in my opinion. And yeah, we myself and the lady I work with at Games, we we never we didn't go in and say, oh no, we can't use the word Orientals. Oh, that's really not a nice thing to say about black people. We took Howard's text and pretty much put it in the anthologies as we found it. Um, there are two stories, well, actually, no, three stories that were rewritten significantly, but that was because I went in and I reverted them back to the as close to the original drafts as I could, because they had been rewritten for they originally with one character. Howard rewrote them for a different market with another character. When they got rejected by the magazine, he was writing the it was boxing sailor was kind of dim-witted, and so I went in and I rewrote it to put it back so it would fit into our anthology better. I think there were three of those. Um, but no, we did not edit Howard so it would appeal to the um, or so no fifis would be hurt. I find this whole, unless it's the author that's going to go back in and rework it themselves. Uh, like I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Hergé, the guy that wrote and drew Tintin. He went in and revised several of his Tintins in the late 40s. He did it again in the early 60s, late 50s, early 60s. Did it again in the 70s. He updated the comics so they would be more relevant to modern readers. So when they went into new editions, great. But to unleash some hack sensitivity reader onto Agatha Christie or Robert E. Howard or uh, don't know about that one. They might well have tried that. I don't know. But yeah, on Conan Doyle fiction, I find it absolutely reprehensible. And I mean, okay, I should say that there is a project that ended up being abandoned about three-quarters of the way in, and I should probably get back to it just to finish it up, where I did do rewrites on an author's fiction, um, but not for sensitivity reasons. It was for reasons that she had a very, very stilted and elaborate style that worked well for the late 1800s, but does not work for modern readers. The plots are good; they're mystery stories. Lady's name is Anna Catherine Green. She was one of the uh, uh, actually a pretty popular mystery writer in her day, and one of the few female mystery writers. You know, we got Christie, but she was before Christie, and the detective is really neat. The plots are neat, but the style is just one that does not work today and would not work at all. And so I I was rewriting those, but I was going to make it very very blatant that I had gone in and massacred Anna Catherine Green. In fact, Stan, you've seen Stan around here. He suggested that what needed to be done was uh, the book should have the original stories in it and then the revised stories so people could see the differences. But I was also commissioning original stories with this detective named Violet Strange. I mean, that's a cool name. So that's the name itself appealed to me, and so we were also going to call it oh god, Strange something. It was a play on the character's name, but so a couple of deadlines were missed by some of the short fiction authors that had promised stories. One of them had to back out and say, "Hey, you have my outline. You can finish it from it." And then the Robert E. Howard anthologies became a focus, and poor Violet Strange kind of fell by the wayside, where she's been sitting in her um, big elaborate dress for the past 15 years at this point. But someday maybe. Hey Dan, sorry, I was in the middle of reminiscing the end of a rant about sensitivity readers. But what is this PSA? Uh, Caphalia said he was here a while back. It's from Caphalia. Said he was here a while back. I I must be completely forgetting whatever this is. That's kind of embarrassing. Uh, is it somewhere on YouTube? Uh-oh. It's acting up on me again here. Yeah, I'm live. Dave, let me do the whole. I need to make you a moderator, don't I, if you're able to post a link? But yeah, I'm going to have to go read an article about that Agatha Christie thing, because if it's what I think it is, that's going to annoy the hell out of me. Yeah, that is true. Although in the case of Violet Strange, I think she'd stab me with a knitting needle or a hat pin before it got that far. Let's see. Hello, Hank. Trifold PSA. Let's see what I find. And then I'll try to make you a moderator, Dave, so you can post the link. If I can't find it, you guys are coming into once again a very carefully planned and highly coordinated live stream. And it was just mentioned something that Dave mentioned something that I'm clearly forgetting about. And now I'm trying to get to my channel so I can go here. I'm trying because I think I need to go here to make him a moderator, right? So he can post a link. Here we go. Aha. Should have a nice pretty wrench now. So you can put a link up to whatever this PSA is that he's talking about. Yeah, actually, I suppose I should do this too, in case anybody has anything they want to talk about to the assembly, or want to have me go look at that. I'm in both windows now, aren't I? Yeah, let me get rid of that. And get rid of that. Because I found out that I did not know who she was. Copy. All right. So yeah, there we go. Hopefully that'll work. Becca's presence organizes things. Wow, she needs to come and spend more time here. Because even when I go in with a plan, I kind of just toss it out once things get started. But yeah, you guys' stream earlier, as I told you before, I come and go during them, and when I came back and you had that creepy guy on, I was going, okay, this has got to be a comedy bit. No, it was not. But yeah, actually, I was trying to find out. Well, this might do it. Delete laws trifold. Okay. Well, then things are about to go downhill in a major way, people. Let's see. Yeah, I must have forgotten about this PSA. Although here's something new from Cholito that I haven't seen. Sorry if anyone's going to have nightmares after this, but the guy who says he never stops is saying you have to know when to surrender. What's that all about?
To surrender. And let me give you a simple example. I just said it a second ago. In Ironton, Ohio, they were going to revoke my bond from jail for peacefully protesting and put me in jail until my trial. Whoa, time to surrender. They're going to kill you in there. They're going to kill you or break you. And they can. All of you can be broken, and so can I. Every person.
You're already broken, Cholito.
Don't think that you're Braveheart and you're going to lay on the table as they castrate you and you're going to yell, freedom! No, you're not, bro. No, you're not. You have a breaking point. Where is it? No, 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 it's there. So you have to learn when to surrender. And let me give you a simple example. I just said it a second ago.
Oh,
In
okay.
Iron,
It's looping now. I was gonna say this is this is the longest goddamn minute in history. Um, because it was starting over. Okay, that actually was a pretty smooth little. I didn't even notice that it jumped. But yes, Hank, you had the same thought I did. Looks like revoking his bail was actually the right choice because he didn't appear for his trial. He did run away. Um, and yeah, apparently running like a little bitch is Chili's idea of surrendering. He never quits or never stops being a little bitch and running away. You have missed that there apparently I knew about some trifold PSA and I've since forgotten about it. A Chilito trifold PSA. I was looking for it. I found something new from Chilito and looked at that instead. You missed my rant about sensitivity readers. Um, so I don't know if you've missed that much, really. Just me going on. Hey, Thomas, welcome. We got we got Tom and we got Thomas. Uh, now we just need Tom Piddlecaw to show up. We need all the Thomases in here. Yes, they are people who read manuscripts and advise publishers and editors whose um, sensitivities, political, cultural, whatever, they're going to offend if they don't fix the work in question. And apparently, Agatha Christie novels are currently being butchered by sensitivity readers, so they don't hurt people's fifis out there. Uh, well, here, let's actually. So, Agatha Christie novels reworked to remove potentially offensive language. Potentially offensive language. Uh, Several Agatha Christie novels have been edited to remove potentially offensive language, including insults and references to ethnicity. Poirot and Miss Marvel mysteries, written between the 1920s and 1976, have had passages reworked or removed in the new editions published by HarperCollins to strip them of language and descriptions that modern audiences find offensive, especially those involving characters Christie's protagonists encounter outside the United Kingdom. Well, yeah, especially we got we're talking novels, we're talking fiction. This is not something that they have to seek out now, is it? Sensitivity readers have made the edits, which were evident in digital versions of the new editions, including the entire Miss Marple run and selected Poirot novels set to be released or have been released since 2020. The Telegraph reported. Really, that's interesting. I didn't realize that they'd gone in and fixed Goldsmith too. So the update follows edits made to books by Roald Dahl and Ian Fleming. Yeah, let's make James Bond more sensitive. Um, yeah. Let's see. In a bid to preserve their relevance to modern readers. Okay, if they're going to try to keep them commercially relevant, that's what I was talking about with me rewriting Anna Catherine Green. There were great plots. The the young girl, young lady detective fighting against, basically she's struggling against her her intelligence and her desire to solve crimes, but she is the daughter of a wealthy family, and so she can't run around and do these sorts of things. She can't bring shame to the family, but she also just has a mind that lets her solve puzzles and problems And so she goes out and solves murders, and there's a police detective that is kind of her beard, if you will, in some of the stories. Um, let's see. What else is about these damn sensitivity readers? Well, yeah. Um, did that? I have to admit, I haven't really read his stories. I've seen one of the movies, so I couldn't tell you what's actually in the books. But I don't think that warrants sensitivity readers going in there and butchering the hell out of fiction that has stood the test of time, really. So, the newspaper reported that edits cut references to ethnicity, such as describing a character as black, oh my god, Jewish or gypsy, or a female character's torso as of black marble, and a judge's Indian temper. Remove such term as Oriental and the N word. The word natives has also been replaced with the word local. I'm the guy that published 3 anthologies titled Oriental Adventures, so I think that should sort of demonstrate my take on that particular sensitivity. Among the examples of changes cited by the Telegraph in Death on the Nile, in which the character Mrs. Allerton complains that a group of children are pestering her, saying that, quote, they come back and stare, and their eyes are simply disgusting, and so are their noses, and I don't believe I really like children. Mrs. Allerton, she was not a sympathetic character, as I recall. She wasn't a villain, but she was kind of an annoyance. It's been many years, so I could be wrong on that one. But so here's how they fix it. Fix it. This has been stripped down in the new edition to state they come back and stare and stare and stare. And I don't believe I really like children. Okay. Well, yeah, probably. Uh, and I've been missing the comments, and I can't get back up to see what they were. So sorry, guys. Um, of Mice and Men. It's been I haven't read that since college, but yeah. And I caught a corner of my eye. I saw Hank mention something about the next book to be butchered. Was that Of Mice and Men? Uh, oh hell, most things by Hemingway or Faulkner need to be thrown out. Although I don't know if they did either one of those. Like I said, it's been many years. In the new edition of the 1964 Miss Marple novel, A Caribbean Mystery, or Caribbean Mystery, the amateur detective's musing that a hotel worker smiling at her has such lovely white teeth has been removed. Okay. Sensitivity readers, this is not true, this paragraph, because as I said, I've had my first encounter with the idea back in 1997. Sensitivity readers are a comparatively recent phenomenon in publishing that have gained widespread attention in the past 2 years. They vet both new publications and older works for potentially offensive language and descriptions and aim to improve diversity in the publishing industry, though some are paid extremely low wages. Oh no. Oh no, how terrible. They shouldn't be paid a goddamn thing. There shouldn't even be a job for sensitivity readers, quote unquote. Um, Though this is the first time the content of a Christie novels has been changed, her 1939 novel, And Then There Were None, has previously been published under a different title that included a racist term which was last used in 1977. Yeah, it's so horrible and so racist that they can't even mention what the original title of that book was. Although I was that the one I got a nasty gram on because I reviewed the movie. Uh, yeah, the book, by the way, that's Ten Little Indians was the original title, and both that and the and then there were none are reference to the poem. Or actually, no, let me take that back. It wasn't Ten Little Indians. I now remember why that title kind of had to be revised. Ten Little Indians was that one of the movie adaptations or the play? But yes, it was Ten Little. I can't say the word here on YouTube, or we will be in trouble. But yeah, I agree. I agree. Actually, am I remembering this correctly? Oh no, it was Ten Little Indians. Oh no, no, okay, that was the revised title, the first revised title. It was originally Ten Little uh, Dark-Skinned People. Um, no, that that would be the revision of the revision title, and I just noticed on my screen here actually is the cover of the original edition of the book, and so I've already gotten myself in hot water. But there it is right there. Original title. I won't say it, but because then I'll definitely trigger the algorithms and sensitivity people will be triggered all over the place. Yeah, okay. So what I considered the original title wasn't even the original title. Ten Little Indians was not. It was this. Yeah. And Thomas Boulder would be proud. And something awry. I saw your comment and I was going to comment and now it's out of my head because I am on a angry rant here. Now, so Agatha Christie Limited, a company run by the author's great grandson, James Pritchard, is understood to handle licensing of her literary and film rights. So I guess her family is okay with them going in there and butchering the books because they want the paychecks to keep coming. Again, um, I, I I guess I'm just irritated because these while these books, yes, they were written as commercial enterprises, they were still associated with a person and a person's name, and they were. I, I mean, when I was a kid, there were a series of books called The Three Detectives. They were published, at least some of them were published as Alfred Hitchcock and the Three Detectives. Um, and I've since, whether it's true or not, someone told me that they had been rewritten. They were originally from like the 50s, then got rewritten to updated to the modern times. And that's also happened with the Hardy Boys, from what I understand. They have updated and rewritten the Hardy Boys. But are they going to mention in the indicia of these books that we went in and we butchered the hell out of the original text because sensitivity readers, well, no, the sensitivity readers are doing the butchering. So there's not even any checks on this. It's just, oh, no, no, no. I am personally offended by that. Therefore, it must be taken out. Um, so Roald Dahl, they had to rewrite those so they continue to be enjoyed by all today. But they say they'll continue to print the original editions. Okay, well, somehow I have to wonder how long that's going to last if they look at what's selling and what's not. So on the chopping blocks were offensive descriptions of characters' physical appearances, such as the words fat and ugly. Wasn't the whole point that one of those obnoxious kids in the story was fat? Gender neutral terms were also added. Where Charlie and the Chocolate Factory's Oompa Loompas were small men, they are now small people. Um, okay. The Cloud Men in James and the Giant Peach have become cloud people. Okay. And Ian Fleming, to mark the 70 years since publication of Casino Royale, since the book was first published, a full set of thrillers will be reissued. So, of his original books will be reissued. This time, it will contain the disclaimer. Oh yeah, I really hate these effing things too. They got slapped on everything I wrote during the late '80s and into the '90s and even into the 2000s. Thank you, Wizards of the Coast. This book was written at a time when terms and attitudes which might be considered offensive by modern readers were commonplace. Yeah, things I wrote in the '90s is offensive to the modern readers and therefore has to have disclaimers on it now from the publisher. Um, yeah. Um, History is about finding out the truth, not censoring it because it will offend someone. Well, yeah, that's certainly true. Let's see. Many changes would remove racist language. In Live and Let Die, Bond's comment that would-be African criminals in the gold and diamond trades are pretty law-abiding chaps. Pretty law-abiding chaps, I should have thought, except when they've drunk too much. Okay, doesn't that apply to everybody? That's been changed to pretty law-abiding chaps, I should have thought. Others are to remove sexist language. For example, a scene where Bond visits a nightclub in Harlem and a reference to the audience panting and grunting like pigs at the trough has been changed to Bond could sense the electric tension in the room. I'm going to assume that this nightclub was some sort of burlesque or strip club place, which means that rewrite is probably doesn't capture what the scene was supposed to convey. But the French are pretty law abiding chaps, I should have thought, except when they've drunk too much. Uh, the people that live up in Seattle, they're pretty law abiding chaps, I should have thought, except when they've drunk too much. Um, well, we've got one of them here in the house. He can confirm or deny this. The Welsh are pretty law abiding chaps, I should have thought, except when they've drunk too much. This is dumb. This whole reader sensitivity thing is stupid. Uh, okay, well that is my rant on that. Uh, if anyone lasted through that, I thank you. Um, did 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 you Dave? Did you put up that link and I missed it? If I did, do you want to put that back up there? Yeah. Well, yeah, Mein Kampf. Uh, uh, God, I'm blank on the title now, but yeah, there are several books that um, manifesto type things and that should be offensive to people, truly, uh, but aren't. Well, no, I can't because they'd probably both kill me, uh, or get me banned from YouTube. I put a period in there, and they weren't in. Well, they're in the same bracket in the sense that I was trying to prove a point about drunk people and law abidingness. Um, okay, so there's that link. Now, if I click on it, what happens? All right, nothing happens. Let me try something else. Uh-oh. I'm in for it now.
Really?
Hey, welcome, welcome.
I'm not going to kill you for the drunk comment.
No, it was for putting you next to the French, I think, is what was the issue. Which I
Well,
didn't.
Becca's French.
I Becca's French?
Mais oui.
Ah, let's see. The only French I remember at this point is Je ne parle pas français. And that's probably.
Yeah.
Or Je parle pas français. Je ne. Whatever. um, yeah, Dave, Dan, and Becca from the Welsh News Network. They have come to hang out with us. And
I've
hey,
just thought of a book that is really inappropriate, but none of the sensitivity readers ever complain about.
all right.
Nietzsche's works.
Oh, they complain about Nietzsche all the time. At least in my general uh, circle.
And Becca just whispered in my ear about another book that is horrendously culturally and terrible, really, but they never complain about. The Bible.
Yeah. Well, the Bible gets rewritten every so often by everybody.
The Old Testament doesn't, and that's when all the good shit happens.
Oh, there's one. The Quran. Yeah,
Mm.
they don't claim. No one complains. No one will, dare complain about that one. Well,
I can draw you a nice picture of a prophet if you'd like.
my blog is banned in Pakistan, by the way, because I posted those pictures. And when I remember to do it on, is it May 20th or May 19th, where that poor girl, many
Oh,
years,
yeah. Hank's come up with another one for you.
okay?
The Constitution of the United States.
Yes, that is one that they would very much like to see go away. That's why, or it needs to be rewritten because it's quote a living document. So you need to
I
come.
know, you'd have to take certain parts out of it.
Yep, yep. Not the guy that spells his name with a V. I don't know what that's a reference to. Um, Nietzsche was just a depressed German. Yeah.
And
Anyway,
a sociopath.
well, probably most philosophers. Part of you probably has to have a little bit of that in you to think that you are, uh, your ideas are the ideas. Um, Rewrite Steinbeck with proper grammar? No.
And there's a reason Hank brought up why all of these sensitivity people should be just taken outside and shot in the back of the head. If it was up to them, we would never have had Blazing Saddles.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, actually, even when it was being produced, there were some issues with people being worried about it.
I mean, was there a group they didn't actually offend?
I have to go look it up, but I think that might have been the one where the studio was worried until they screened it before a test audience. Am I getting
Yeah.
my films
No,
messed?
no, you're right. The
Okay.
studio was terrified, but it turned out that you can either offend nobody or offend everybody, and
Yep.
it's fine.
Yep.
Because it's not discrimination, because you're offending everyone, so therefore no one's discriminated against.
Right. And actually, the thing about Blazing Saddles and why, when actually I saw a headline, I should have read the article, but it seemed like somebody was grousing about how it was outdated, blah blah blah. But the target of Blazing Saddles were the the racists and the bigots and the sort of foolish, closed-minded people.
Yeah.
And so the people that are taking offense at that, they really need to sort of turn around and look at that mirror next to them, because they're actually the ones that are being mocked, I think. Um, they just don't realize it. Uh, yeah. Okay, so Blazing Saddles was the one that, yes, if there had been sensitivity readers back then, it probably wouldn't even have made it to the test audience. I think you're right. We are about to start an international incident here. Well, part of me, when I accidentally put the original cover for
Oh, we can offend far more people than that. I'm telling you, we should just pick. You draw one, I'll draw one. We'll see which one's the best.
well, I'm actually way ahead of you. Let's see if I can find them, because I did a whole bunch many years ago. Uh, but yeah, maybe that's worth going back to. I haven't cartooned in a good number of years. Uh, how do I look at my wow brain? Not braining very well right now. All right, let's do this. Doink. That way I can get the full window. Oh, I completely forgot about that too. One thing that this is not why I'm banned in Pakistan, but if I got unbanned, I'm pretty sure they would ban me again, because
Well,
every
technically, you are unbanned.
oh, how so?
YouTube.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, yeah, 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 but no, the blog
And
here,
now you're banned again.
yeah, because let's see, how do I zoom in on this? Oh, here we go. Is this the one? Yeah. Boink. Yeah, look at the top of my head, people. Isn't it attractive? Because every Monday, uh, I've been running, well, every other Monday, one of the Jesus and Mo cartoons. And there's Mohammed right there. How you doing? And there's Jesus and Mo in bed together because they're buddies. So yeah, I'm actually working hard at defending at keep myself banned. Actually, I'm doing it just because of, if you're gonna give death threats over cartoons, you're an idiot and you deserve to uh, be poked at. And that's been my, yeah, right there. There's one of my portraits of the man himself. Um, that was done on a post-it note, actually, back in May. Yeah, the May 20th is Everybody Draw Mohammed Day. So some poor girl made up this fictitious thing, and her intent was to mock people who were actively, twofold actually, mock people who were going out of their way to offend by drawing Muhammad, and then also mock the people who were offended by people drawing Muhammad. So she did a poster. Uh, she did a poster where I closed that page, unfortunately, Tom. What photo do you mean? Well, anyhow, she did a poster where little cartoon animals or just strange little cartoons were labeled as they were, drawings of Muhammad. Complete. It was a complete spoof, and she literally had a price put on her head, and had to go into hiding. Had to change her name. And the last time someone checked up on her, she was still in hiding, and she had a slightly, a beginning career as an artist, and of course, completely derailed that, or a cartoonist. Somebody kicking the one with the person kicking their leg. Oh, that. Okay. Um, yeah, that is. Oh my gosh, what's her name? That's Valeska Miller. She's an actress and a dancer, and she ended up on the masthead of my blog. That's the picture you're talking about, right? Yeah, it's funny that you would think people named Mohammed that are various stripes of criminals would be very offensive, and would have to be obligated to change their name. Um, so yeah, what was? Yes, that is a very nice photo, and that's why it ended up there. But let's see, did I remember her name right? I think I did. And yes, you did hear a cat. He usually starts doing that when I'm talking on YouTube. Yep, Valeska Miller. And there's her face right there. And there's just more random pictures of her. Because that's what that blog has on it. It has random pictures and reviews and whatever else I fancy at the moment I'm putting up a post. uh, but yeah,
I did have a different thing that we could use for the Muhammad thing if you want.
Okay.
But it will definitely offend people.
Do tell.
If you look over, I've presented it.
Something just beeped, and I don't know. Oh, right here. Aha!
That should offend everyone.
Yeah.
That's my entry for the Muhammad picture.
Oh, let's see here. Let me see if I think they're just all filed under Mohammed Mondays, or I would. I mean, we could look at Mohammed cartoons and really get the stream banned.
Oh yeah, won't get banned.
Or we'll have to edit
YouTube,
it.
no, YouTube won't ban you because all the Christians would go insane in the United States if they banned somebody for that.
But yeah, there's more Valeska Miller. Uh, anyhow, so let's see if I can actually get all the Muhammad. I think actually, yeah, a bunch of them are the cartoons. And there's Vosh Faustin. Oh yeah, there's one of my Muhammad cartoons right there. That's actually the one that back when this whole thing started, somebody organized a everybody draw Muhammad Day on what was a fictitious day. They made it real. Um, and so yeah, there's my cartoon of Muhammad with a bunch of quotes from him. Uh, do you love? Uh, Do you love your traitor? Love your fellow beings first. I shall be the leader of prophets. I am fighting in Allah's service. A most excellent jihad is that for the conquest of self. The ink of the scholar is more sacred than the blood of the martyr. And then some made up quotes. Peace be upon me. And it's only cartoons, you psychotic morons. So that's why I said when I was joking, I said I'm way ahead of you. I already have some Muhammad cartoons. But yeah, that was my Muhammad cartoon right there. And then I had Muhammad at the Jihad Fairy activity page, where you have to identify who the real prophet is based on his words. So the first one, this little stick figure, I am the prophet who laughs while killing my enemies. And then there's the repeat of my Muhammad cartoon. I shall be the leader of prophets. And this guy actually, this picture was made from an actual mugshot of a terrorist. So that should be truly offensive. There is no laughing in Islam. Allah has no sense of humor. So then you've identified the real Muhammad out of those quotes.
It's the first one, isn't it?
Actually, the first one is just a little wrong. It's actually, I shall be the leader of prophets. That's the actual quote. That's a real quote. This one actually there is something similar, but it's not completely accurate. Then there was the other Jihad Fairy page where you have to match the quote to the Muhammad. So yeah, I and other people did Muhammad ones, and so yeah, there's a whole bunch. This is why This is why this blog is blocked in Pakistan. Is because of these.
Lego Muhammad.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure who's going to be more offended, Lego or.
I have to remember to ask my sister what this actually says. Someday I'll remember. It's been up there for years now, and I always forget. But yeah, the cat that's talking in the background, Thomas, if you're still here, that is Simba, and I adopted him with that name. I would have called him Casper if he had been mine from the get-go. So you could probably match that, right, Dan? If you were to do it, if you and I were to see who could do the best Muhammad cartoon by May 20th, should we do an Everybody Draw Muhammad Day on May 20th?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Let's make it official. I'll draw one, you draw one, whoever else wants to draw one. And oh, sorry, Tom, I just noticed you're heading out. Have a good night. He doesn't want to be witness to us causing trouble. What's this? There was a guy who refused entry into the United States back. Mohammed Jihad. Yeah.
I like Hank's Jesus comment.
Yeah, see, they scroll off my screen and I miss them. Let me actually open the YouTube channel in another window so I can see what you guys are seeing. After all these months, you'd think I would begin to be a little smoother, but no, not really. After all these months, you'd think I would. And there I am. God, my voice sounds much better in my head.
Hank, I'll post up his comment.
Hank, you do not get to be in the Everyone Draw Muhammad contest because clearly you will, you're going to win hands down.
Well, yeah, he's just going to do a self-portrait.
So, yeah, no. And it's not really a contest. It's an art exhibit. How about that? And now I can't hear what anyone is saying because I turned down the wrong volume. So let me get the volume back up. How about that? And now I can't hear what anyone is saying because I turned down the wrong volume. So let me get the. All right, there. Now I can hear people again. I hope. If anyone is saying anything.
I wasn't. I am
Okay.
now.
Okay, good. Let me know I didn't
I was
completely
just being evil and not saying anything deliberately.
didn't know that I was worried if I'd killed the sound completely there. Um, Jesus loves you is a great thought until, yes, that is true. That is true. Actually, just to show that I'm equally, I'm obnoxious toward all religions. One of the New Low Games adventures that was published, uh, I believe it was called Jesus versus Santa. So Jesus versus Jesus versus Santa, or maybe it was just Jesus versus Jesus in the final version. But yeah, uh, we made we made game stats for Jesus and had him battle Santa, and then he battled other things as well. Because I don't remember if we did Muhammad stats or not. I know we had it planned at one point. We were gonna have Muhammad battling. We're gonna have Muhammad, Jesus, Joseph Smith, and L. Ron Hubbard. I think is who we were gonna have game stats for and have them fight it out. This was for a game called Rolf. It was a very silly game with very silly supplements that would offend people probably, and did in a couple of cases. Um, but not to the point where we got booted off of our uh, platform that distributes the stuff. Unlike some poor folks that recently published a game called Men, which was poking fun at the idea of toxic masculinity and everything that goes along with that. But it was too offensive, and they got kicked off platform, and they made the mistake of going after the distributor and calling them censors and everything else, which of course is not a smart thing to do when they hold their business in your hand. But so yeah, actually it's been it's almost no, it's only 5 years since the last Rolf release. So maybe that could still survive the modern times. But up here's the face of Muhammad. And this is full of quotes. It's made up entirely of Quranic quotes, actually. This guy did a lot of work in this. Um, but yeah, so let's revive Everybody Draw Muhammad. May 20th, 2023. If we live long enough.
We will. They've tried to kill me before. It didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. Way back when I was writing columns, um, they, everybody knows Salman Rushdie, right? And he had the bounty on his head because of the Satanic Verses.
Hmm.
I was writing columns at a newspaper at the time when Iran upped the bounty on Salman Rushdie. So I had to comment on it, and I said some. Basically, I was the asshole columnist in residence. I was supposed to write the edgy, kind of uh, obnoxious material. So I said some very unkind things about the mullahs of Iran and this whole Rushdie situation with him upping the bounty on him and what. And the paper got lots of responses, lots of phone calls. Uh, one college age girl saw me in the lobby of the building and told me that she had seen me crossing the street and has thought about running me over with her car because I had been rude to the mullahs. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you studying in the States if you have such an intense feeling for your religious leadership? Why aren't you studying at home? I didn't say that to her. I just, well, thank you for not running me over, and went to the office. It got so bad that the receptionist um, started just sending calls to me rather than voicing them off. And then one day, she actually also told me that, look, if someone shows up and is mad about that column, I'm just going to walk them back to your office and you talk to them. And I said, oh, okay, fine. If I get shot, you have to clean up the mess. So just keep that in mind. That was a real exchange. Um, and then one day I'm in there typing away, and I hear from the door, "Are you Steve Miller?" And I look up. There is an Arabic guy. He's got a copy of the newspaper in his hand from the day where that column ran. And I say, yes. Oh, I left out a part of the story because I'm such a great storyteller. One of the things I said in the column, one of the very rude things I said was, I called the mullahs of Iran, very juvenile here, I called them camel humpers. And my editor let it go through. I thought he was going to, would cut that, but he let it go through. So it was in print. Now this guy's in my office, has paper in hand, and he says, "Let's another part of the story. I am writing at this point an apology column for offending all the people. It was getting out of hand with all the offenses, and that's why the receptionist said, "Hey, if someone shows up, I'm going to walk them straight back." Um, so I'm working on the apology column. "Are you Steve Miller?" I hear in the look up. There's a guy with the newspaper in his hand. And I say, yes. And he says, "You'd got it wrong. The mullahs of Iran are not camel humpers. They are goat fuckers." And then he proceeded to give me a big long list of what all the various ethnic and racial slurs in the all around the Mediterranean and all throughout the Arabic world and into Persia, and taught me more about offending people in that part of the world than I'd ever imagine I'd ever know. Um, I almost wrote a different apology column that day because I almost wanted to share my knowledge with the world. but but yeah, the list has long since faded from my memory. Other than they are not camel humpers, they are goat fuckers. And yeah, so there. Story time with Steve is now over. Wasn't that thrilling?
Yeah, I'm Welsh. I have no idea what an apology is.
Oh, I didn't want to write one, but the receptionist was very angry, and other editors were a little embarrassed. Uh, my favorite apology column was when so one more story here. I this was in Utah, and they were debating a law that would give certain sex offenders home arrest rather than putting them in jail. They would give them this again. This is back before the whole police reform movement here in the States. This is, I want to say, 88, 87. So it's late 80s, early 90s. So they wanted to put nonviolent sex offenders on home detention. So I'm reading the proposed bill, and the way it's worded, nonviolent sex offenders would include pedophiles, certain pedophiles. And so I'm thinking, well, that's not good. Pedophiles um, should be locked up no matter what. So I wrote a column about this. I put the text of the thing in there. I say, hey, um, sounds to me like uh, Haven Barlow is the politician that was the sponsor of the bill. So I write in the column, and this is like three and a quarters of the way down. So no one ever gets that far. But down there, I say, seems to me like Haven Barlow is going for the pervert vote. Well, when the editor wrote the headline for that column, the headline was Haven Barlow goes for pervert vote. So I think you can guess who was on the phone the next day when they got the paper. He was the Haven Barlow state representative was very angry. Wanted to have a response. He wanted to publish a response because it was very unfair what I'd said about him, and I misunderstood the bill entirely. And someone should have called his office. Blah 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 blah. And he, basically was told, look, no one takes Miller seriously anyway. He just writes crap. But no, apology column. Okay, fine, apology column it is. And I wanted to run where his column would run. And I said, okay, fine. I'll be happy to just sort of take the day off, whatever. Um, so we get his column. It's being typeset. Then the editor. Uh, no, I was not, but that's actually another funny story. We were, and actually partly why I even was in the position I was in. But yeah, I can tell that story too. Why not? Um, uh, she actually pops in and says, so and so, their column, they didn't finish their column. Can you write something anyway? So she put my column still ran, and it ran right next to Haven Barlow, uh, which again I just found absolutely hilarious because I wanted to run in place of Miller's column. It did. I mean, it ran usually, but mine would be on the page, and mine was underneath his. But so yeah, he was still mad, but whatever. And as far as me being married to the editor, no, but we were friends, and I had been the entertainment editor and feature writer at this paper, and then she got the gig as editor in chief, and she had been the news editor, and she was afraid that the newsroom, which were kind of a raucous bunch on the best of days, that they wouldn't respect her now that she was their boss. Well, their boss's boss, and that it would be a hard time. So she wanted someone to kind of come in and be the hatchet man or be the tough guy if necessary. And she offered me that job because no one in the newsroom knew who I was. They just knew I was one of those weird people in the back where they don't put carpet on the floor because the sports guys and us are slobs and messy. And um, so she gave me the office right next to hers, and I told yeah, yep. Used to write music reviews. That was one of my favorite things until I got so burned out on them. But so she puts me in an office next to hers. Was the news editor's office, and moved the new news editor down a little bit further. So I was between those two. But I'm there. The newsroom is right in front of me. I'm looking out on them because I kept my blinds open. It's basically a glass box. And I told them, everybody, any concern, is always come in and talk to me. And the sports guys were always in and out. The feature people were in and out because again they knew me. They knew I wasn't, you know, I was a nice guy back then. Even if I did have the festering ball of hate reputation as well, because when I get angry, I get angry. But the newsroom didn't know who I was. I set up my office so um, my back was basically to the wall of the office, and the desk was facing forward, so I was looking out into the newsroom. Which is again why when I looked up when the guy came in with the "Are you Steve Miller?" I looked up and I didn't have to turn around because I was already facing out into the room. But so I'm in this office here. I have the computer is on the desk in front of me. I'm in there. I have time to write columns, whatever else I'm doing, because I really had a whole lot to do as the quote executive editor, other than to back Susan up when she had things that she just needed someone to back her up. But the newsroom, they saw me. I'm in there in my office and I'm scowling at them. Apparently, me sitting there scowling at them for hours on end uh, made them meet deadlines better than they had when she was their editor, because they were scared of me, that I was watching them and I was watching them and I wasn't happy. I wasn't watching them. I was actually looking at my computer monitor and I was either editing or writing or doing something. But it worked. That's why she was the boss. Because we put them in line. Uh, and the only time I had to be a hatchet man was because somebody was getting her in trouble. They were pulling a prank, um, and well, no, actually, I'm not going to tell that story. That's a bad story to tell in public online. Um, no, festering ball of hate on the office door actually was when I was actually at Wizards and then again at another company. But it didn't actually end up on my door at the paper. That was actually before the term got coined. I think actually maybe it was while I was at West End Games. It's either West End Games or Wizards of the Coast is where that originated. Um, and then it's been kicking around ever since. Yeah, story time with Steve. And
I have only once had to give a formal apology, and I think I screwed it up.
oh yeah,
And it wasn't even for my actions. This junior officer had said something to somebody they shouldn't have and offended them. And the skipper decided, yeah, no, can't send him to apologize. Don't want to do it, so you can go do it. But didn't tell me what it was about. I was supposed to be apologizing. Well, I went to go apologize, and this official was jumping up and down and started swearing and calling all these names under the sun. He was really upset, which of course triggered me to just let him have it with both barrels and insult him far worse than the original guy who I was there to apologize for ever did. I called him under every name under the sun. I think at one point I even called him out for a duel. It was quite interesting when I got back to the ship.
yeah.
It took the captain 3 hours to be able to talk to me because he couldn't stop laughing enough to be able to speak. From then on, while I was under his command, I was designated as his PR officer.
Oh, that makes it even better. Oh, okay. All right. I feel at my present job. Uh, I have superiors, and I have to write reports every so often, and they keep getting kicked back to me because they say, well, they're accurate. They're too accurate because they laugh and they read my reports apparently, but I have a tendency to get a little too sarcastic and a little too straightforward in describing who did what and why and how. so yeah, I think I think I may feel a little bit of how that apology came. How that, especially didn't tell you what. So they didn't tell you what you were apologizing for. They just said go
Nope.
there and smooth this over.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Also, who in their right mind would pick me? Everyone thinks that I'm just this way online. No. I clean up how I am to be online. In real life, I'm far worse.
Well, it's one more story. because yeah, I have people at both at the present job and other jobs that they find it amusing that I have that people would put a sign outside my office door that said "festering ball of hate." Although they got a kind of a small demonstration of what how I can be the festering ball of hate. Actually, what is this? Hey, your boss sucks, Surrender Monkey. That's all I can say. That really sucks. But um, I lost train of thought now. What was it? Festering ball of hate. Oh yes, yes. So uh, my maybe I mentioned this. Maybe I've told this story before, but here we go again. Um, one of the yeah, no, actually, I'll simplify this so don't bore people to sleep. Even though it's late, people probably want to go to sleep. Anyhow, we have a staff member who is sorely lacking in social graces. He's always grumpy. He's always grousing at people. Um, I'm sure you guys all know, and I'm certain Dan would know that when you're dealing with people and you're basically in this situation where you're in control, or even if you're not, it's a good idea if you're trying to get people to do what you want them to do. You start down here, and if being somewhat civil doesn't work, okay, then you ratchet it up, and then if you have to. Um, he starts up here, so he has nowhere to go. He also will leave openings that people can exploit and just sort of run circles around him because he's not very smart when he's trying to be, or not, smart is the wrong word. He's not graceful, but he's not. And yeah, someone at work is going to see this. And anyhow,
He doesn't English well.
right. And one day he's feeling stressed and he's upset because he has a lot of work to get to take care of. And I'm say to my main coworker, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to offer if he needs to help, just to call us, and I will come out there and I'll back him up. And so as I'm walking back to give him this, I say hi, and he turns around, and he's in the middle of a rant about how that there's so much work, and he turns around, shoves his finger in my face, and says, and shouts at me, you better help me, which the finger in my face and the yelling, whatever for whatever reason, it just set me off that day. And I actually don't even remember what I told the guy, other than the first thing out of my mouth was, "You better not fucking yell at me, and get that fucking finger out of my face." And whatever came after that, I was so angry that I don't remember. But one of the other coworkers, got me into the records room and talked me down from my murderous homicidal rage. So yeah, that's where they learned at my present place of employment where the festering ball of hate name comes from. That, and I can carry a grudge if it's worth carrying. But fortunately, there's nothing that I have not been that as angry as it was that day. I've not been that angry in like 20 years. So hopefully, I won't be that angry again for another 20 years. Um, but yeah, and actually, what I'm telling here, even if someone does at work does come and watch this, hi work, um, it won't matter because they all know they all know where I stand. They all know I speak my mind, and that I don't care. Uh, I mean, I'm professional at work. I'm not rude to people. I try not to be rude to people, with a couple of exceptions. Try not to be rude to people here online very often either. Um, so so yeah, even if they do see it, like I said, hi work. Everybody knows where I stand. And but yeah, it was shocking to people that I blew my stack because I had the reputation of being the level-headed, even-keeled guy that nothing bothers, nothing phases. Uh, my main coworker, well, she's not anymore, but for a while she was. Um, uh, I actually had a saying that if it's bad when it gets on Steve's nerves because Steve doesn't give a shit about anything. Um, that which just for me saying that her saying to new people that um, I'll say it doesn't affect what you have to do. Does it impact you? Does it impact others? No. Okay, then let that person be an idiot. Don't be upset about something that you can't control and that doesn't impact you. So anyhow, that kind of petered out there, but I guess this is the Steve talks about Steve tonight.
Well, why not? People like to get to know people.
Yep. Yep. Um,
I did work in customer services for 37 minutes exactly.
ah, oh, wow.
I
Okay.
don't know if it's a record, but 16 death threats and 12 threats of physical assault
At you or from you?
from me.
From you. Okay. Oh, and Dave just reminded me I never did go grab that PSA. Um, but actually, customer services is an interesting thing. I have to work with the public occasionally, and recently I had to do that, and I was answering the phone, and a guy was he was worked up, and I understood why, but I still just had to, he was getting on my nerves because I could not get through to the guy, I couldn't get a word in edgewise, and I, I finally said, "You need to settle down, sir," which made him settle down. He says, "What did you tell me? What did you say to me?" So yeah, every so often, uh, yeah, how people can work as customers in customer facing jobs day in and day out, given how dumb the average person is, uh, or how entitled they feel they are. That's just mind blowing to me. Um, oh well, here we go. I found the PSA. I don't know. Maybe you guys have seen this already, but I haven't. So we're gonna watch it, or maybe not, because I think I just moved the wrong window. Once again, welcome to high tech.
You've been taking tech lessons off Irish Demon, haven't you?
Yeah. I'm here to make Irish Demon look good. All right, so let's see here. What do we have? We're going to pause this. We're going to back it up. This is the Trifold of Justice PSA. I do not remember seeing this before. Have you seen this, Dan?
I believe so.
Okay, well, maybe I'm just forgetting because I'm getting old and foolish. Let's see here. I want to do this to make it big.
Oh, I don't know. This could be a new one. It's only 4 days ago.
So let's see what we got. Can I make that bigger? Nope. I had it actually the way it should have been. See if I can put it back. Yeah, there we go. That's as good as it's going to get. Let's see what we got. Look at that dead fool, talking lots of shine. Turkeys in the rain, killing heads with pride. A fancy little fool, with fancy little ways, turning
dirty bullshit in the butter, 'cause butter always pays. But who's the bigger fool? Is it the fool? Is it the fool? Is it the fool? Oh,
Ah, someone should send that to Chilito. He might want to use that himself.
Oh, I'm sure he'll see it with his federal copyright lawsuit.
Oh my gosh.
Which he still won't put me in.
Yeah. Actually, I did notice one thing that may be a coincidence, or maybe it is something that I should take credit for. That maybe I taught him something. Uh, a while back, I did a stream where I used a bunch of clips from his video where he was analyzing murder cases. I think that was. Those no longer those clips that I made are now gone, and that video can't be clipped anymore. And I've noticed that none of his videos you can't go in and clip any of his videos anymore. So I think he realized he could lock things down a bit. I don't know if he just had overlooked that one video or whether I got to it too quickly or what, but
Oh, you can just download them and cut them.
yeah, yeah. Uh, that that's too much like work. Uh, nah. Um,
Or just put timestamps and show it, and you
yeah,
just jump.
yeah. That's what that actually. Next time I was looking at doing something with one of his videos, and then I had that headache last week, and I said, screw it. Um, but
Man, he's not doing much at the moment. I think he's still butthurt.
oh yeah, actually, oh my god, that thing you showed, I saw a few minutes of whatever the hell that was that he was lecturing on. The no, actually, yeah, I was in the side chat commenting.
Oh,
Um,
his maths project.
yes, yes, that
Yeah, don't try and do the maths.
yeah,
Don't try and follow his maths.
yeah. I was. Part of me was thinking, okay, tonight I should go look at that, and then no, you know what? No, no. Um, it's already a long day. I don't need to risk brain damage.
On the plus side, it is only 3 minutes long. It just seems like it's 3 hours long.
Oh, like that, like that 1 minute clip we played from him, where I was thinking, is this not going to end? And then it looped, and it was not going to end. Um, yeah, I maybe I'm starting to get a little bit of chilly burnout. I hope it lasts until his Vegas court thing comes up, because I mean, my stamina lasts until his Vegas court thing comes up, because I want to see
It
them.
will.
Well, actually, there will always be you guys over at Welsh News Network, um, with your 6-7 hour streams. Oh my god, holy crap! Let's get rid of
Hey,
that.
we've been keeping them down to 5.
That still just blows my mind.
It's easy when there's a whole gang of you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess I can see that. You guys actually riff really well off each other. So you got a nice lineup there of people that can feed into each other's senses of humor and commentary. So yeah. Yep. I use YouTube. But blah blah blah. I don't know what that means. I use a YouTube down. Oh, okay. So it's a piece of software. Okay. All right. Now I understand what you're talking about. Took me a moment. Which actually is probably a sign that I should start wrapping this up. Um, unless there's any other questions or comments from the side. we have Dan here. Anybody wants to ask him questions about whales? Are they truly mammals? Or
I
just
don't
big?
know, but they seem a bit big to argue with. It's usually a pretty good rule of thumb. If it's bigger than you are, don't argue with it.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming up and chatting, Dan. It's always fun.
No problem. It's always great to be here.
Yeah. And I'm part of me is now picturing your captain's face when he got that phone call from the guy he was supposed to pacify.
I think it was a setup because that captain had known me for 9 years. There is no way he did not know how this was going to go.
Oh, well, at least you didn't start World War III, so that's a good thing. Or was that just one of your own ports that you had an official was mad in, or was it actually?
No, it was a foreign port.
No, okay. Oh,
No, but someone I know nearly did start World War III, literally.
oh, really?
Yeah, they almost well, they did, just thankfully they didn't go off. They actually fired on a Russian naval vessel by mistake.
They targeted it and triggered, but the gun didn't fire, or the cannon didn't fire.
Well, it fired, they just missed.
Oh my god.
In their defense, they weren't targeting it, they were doing a test program. The test program malfunctioned and actually fired the weapon.
Oh, okay. All right.
16 feet.
Oh, oh, it was that. Oh my god. Okay. Um, I suspect people were changing their pants after that one, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah. Also, it was the last time he got to command a vessel.
Oh, that's even better. Okay. Oh my. Yeah, I can see how that would put a damper on someone's career.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Um, I feel like I've missed a part of a thread here.
Probably not. It's Surrender Monkey.
Okay. Let's see what. Tube, adult rainbow gear. Oh, it's not chili. Oh, maybe you had his mother. maybe had, maybe had his mother do a Google search.
She's
Ah,
seen his side chat comments. That's what it is.
yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. How Irish Demon's mother comes and hangs out in the side chat. She was for a while, at least.
She still does. I just think she's been on holiday recently, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I'd known him for 9 years before the incident.
Oh, okay.
I knew
Uh,
him before I joined up.
ah, family friend or just someone you knew?
Family friend.
Okay. Uh, Well, I am running out of steam, I'm realizing. So I am going to wrap this up, guys, gals, whoever's out there. And again, I really appreciate you stopping by. And thanks to Dan for coming up. Anyone else who wants to come up some other night, you're welcome. And you use the link I put in the chat, Dan, just out of curiosity?
Yeah.
Or? Okay, all right. So it is working. Just that one time it wasn't working for people. And all right. So again, thank you all. And I know we didn't get to look at music videos. Sorry, Surrender Monkey. Um, next time, because actually I found a couple that I think I want to share with you that I think people will find extremely entertaining. But I just need
I
to.
actually introduced Becca to the music video from Star Trekking the other night.
Oh yeah.
Yep. She was killing herself laughing at that one.
Good. It is a good one. But okay. Thanks again, guys. Thank you, Dan. I will see you all next time, or I'll probably see you over at the Welsh News Network. You guys broadcasting tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah, we're continuing with the prize raffle we've just started, so doing that all month.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Did I see that right? It was a computer you're giving away.
Samsung S8 tablet.
Oh, it's a tablet. Okay. All right. Cool. Very nice. You guys all go over there and enter the raffle. I'll have to enter the raffle because I think my tablet is behaving strangely. Need a new one. Alrighty. So again, have a good one, guys. We'll see you next time. Good night.